Welcome back to Hot Cheese. Today we will be going around the NFL talking about a veritable cornucopia of Thanksgiving goodies that the Packers handed their fans this week. We'll do some Chef's Kiss work. We will do a Rookie of the Week. I'm your host, Brady Augustine, as always, joined by Aaron Knapp. Aaron, last week you were hungry. Did you get full?
I'm stuffed.
Stuffed? All right. Like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Yes.
All right, well, there's some stuff going around the NFL this week. Some of it not so good because, the Packers won a game. That's great. But for some other fans of teams, coaches of teams, it wasn't a great day.
It was a great day for me. What are you talking about?
You like the firings? Is that what you're saying?
Canada is gone.
I was thinking about you. I saw it and I was like, well, finally.
I was surprised. I think everybody in my family was surprised. You know that they haven't fired a coach mid-season since the 1940s?
Oh, I can believe it. Yep. I think the Packers are the same way.
I think
they
the
did it
1940s.
with McCarthy, but it's
oh
been a
my
long
God.
time. Well, I know when we talked about it, you were like, I don't think there's going to be any changes made, which was
not until the end of the season.
Yeah.
What?
All right. Well, but here's my question now. You can't. It's not like they're going to be able to bring in a new offense. Like, what is your play? Are you still like, let's just ride this season out? Let's see what we can do next year.
Yeah. We pulled out a win against the Ravens this week, so.
Which is a pretty big one.
It's a big one. It's a big one. So, and it looks good. The people that they've promoted to take over for Canada seem to know what they're doing. So now it's all on Kenny Pickett to see if he is the guy or not.
Mm-hmm.
But Harris, Najee Harris was off his leash, and it was a good thing, and he played really well. So there you go. There's your Steelers talk for the week.
Definitely in the thick of things. Every time, so you got Kenny Pickett over there. Mm-hmm. We've got Kenny Clark.
Yeah.
Every time I hear the word Kenny, I think of there's a Seinfeld episode with the roaster chicken, Kenny's roaster chickens that some of you will know, and he just says, Kenny. They take it away, they turn it, and he loves that chicken, and Kramer is like, Kenny. So every time you say Kenny.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But moving on from chicken,
mm-hmm.
there was some fowl that was missing from the Thanksgiving day.
What's that about?
Yeah. No turducken, no turkey leg for Jordan.
But everybody else got a leg.
Everybody. And here's the other insult meet injury. The Green Bay Packers won a game in which we brought 33.7 million viewers, a record viewership to the early Thanksgiving game.
Yeah.
They can't afford give them.
I heard a rumor.
Oh, no. Is it a conspiracy theory?
There was a turducken. I've heard two rumors, okay, and you guys can choose which
Greg
one
Olsen
you
ate
think
it.
is. Well, I heard that Greg Olsen stuck his hand up in it.
Yeah, he's ripping that thing open.
And it contaminated it or did something to it, but it was not edible after what Greg Olsen did to that turducken. That's rumor number one. Rumor number two is that they branded the turducken with the Lions logo ahead of time, because who would have thought that the Packers would have won? And how do you give Jordan Love a turducken that has a kitty cat on it?
I'm telling you right now. Number one, just cut the leg off.
I know.
Number two, take the skin off where the stupid brand is.
We should just start a really bad rumor that Greg Olsen did something just obscene to that turducken.
Well,
and it was no
the way
longer edible.
The way he was digging in, I don't know that I want to do it. So.
Oh my God.
We'll give him a pass this time. Now, you have, however, going on the line of, conspiracy theories, starting rumors. We like to start rumors here. We have fun with it. Yeah.
I don't start these rumors. I hear these rumors from other people. Okay? I'm just passing on knowledge.
I got a hunch you've made a few of them up yourself.
It's not fan fiction. It's not, okay? I didn't make this up. Bill Belichick to the Chargers?
Bill Belichick to the Chargers.
Now hear me out.
After Reich is out.
He's gonna, yes, well, Staley was on the hot seat. He is on the hot seat with the Chargers after his big meltdown that he had after we beat their ass. He's gonna go, probably. If the Chargers don't
Yeah.
If they don't improve, if they really have just a horrible ending to their season, then I wouldn't be surprised if they got rid of Brandon Staley. He's a big crybaby. But Bill Belichick, his deal, his extension on his contract this year is only good through 2024. Anytime you Google that, Bill Belichick contract, it comes up with multi-year deal. No, it was for 2023 and 2024 only.
Yeah, which is the way most of these contracts work.
So I think they put that knowledge out there to try to entice a trade, okay? A trade of some kind, or, he's not going to get fired. They're not going to fire Belichick, is what I'm saying. Even though the Patriots suck right now. And Mac Jones is not the guy. But some people are saying he could go to the Commanders, he could go to the Bucks, he could go to the Chargers. I don't think he's going to go to the Commanders, even though they say they've got money. They've got money to spend, so they could, buy him from the Patriots. But I'm sorry, Sam Howell's not the guy either. He's not a good quarterback, okay? The Bucks, why would he want to follow in Brady's footsteps?
No, I don't see that one. That's why, Frank Reich out in Carolina makes more sense to me with a young team that has a little bit of chutzpah to move forward.
We've got the Panthers in there too. But the Chargers, I mean, come on, Belichick in the sunshine and in the hot California sun. I mean, who wouldn't want to see that?
End up like Jimmy Johnson down in Miami.
They've got Justin Herbert, who really hasn't had much of an organization or a team that he can play. And he's really good. He's an elite quarterback, and he just doesn't have anything to help him out with that. So.
I think he's got a good wide receiver group, but boy, they just can't bring it together into an offense. And their defense not playing well. Bill Belichick would be a help to that for sure.
Why would he want to go to Carolina? Nobody wants to go to Carolina.
I don't think anyone does either. But I mean, I would say the same thing that I said about the Denver situation. If I was Bill Belichick, it would be if this team got good in any way, it's all me. These guys, I fixed this. So, and it's not that Belichick doesn't have an ego. We know that much. But But in the NFC North, the Lions now do not any longer hold second place in the NFC because they've been overtaken by the Niners now. Is that correct?
We knocked them down a peg.
We knocked them down a peg and did it in, I think, pretty solid fashion. Lots and lots of good stuff out there. The Bears, I don't know if any of you saw this, but the Bears against the Vikings, which, we've got our eye on the Vikings because we're right up there. They both the Bears and the Vikings have their bye weeks this week. The Vikings were right in there with them. And the Vikings went down. They picked up their 6th loss. Packers now have an opportunity to come in and hit that wild card spot. The Seahawks are a little bit iffy now. And but they did it in strange fashion because the Bears won 12-10. And did not score a single touchdown in that game.
What
it was
terrible Monday Night Football game.
It was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. In fact, I remember the announcers just saying, they didn't even know what to say. It was so bad. It was like there wasn't a football game. It's just like somebody finally had to score some points accidentally. So, it was the blind squirrel getting a nut.
Whether Josh Dobbs is playing well or not, he seems to be playing like he has another career.
He's got something else in mind.
Yeah, he's already got his summer camp plans the summer, so he's kind of checked out. He's excited for
tickets are in the mail
for spring and summertime fun in NASA.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Space camp.
I was calling him the pass intercepted astronaut that night. It was really pretty bad. He had 4 picks in that game. It was terrible.
Almost as much of a mouthful as turducken.
It is.
Not
yes.
More.
Which is why I stumbled over it. But I mean, all this to say, this is the NFC North. This is where we thought we had no real even business being. We felt like this was a year that was pretty much gone a month ago. The Lions would run away with it. The Vikings would be okay, potentially get into the playoffs. Lions and the Packers were both kind of foundering. We had the one win against the Bears. But now we've been talking about that Week 17 and Week 18 matchup, playing the Vikings and then playing the Bears back to back. And it goes from interesting in a good way to interesting in a bad way to interesting in a just interesting way. At this point, anything can happen. The NFC North has just become, I mean, I think there's a very good chance, obviously, either Minnesota Vikings or Green Bay Packers now are really vying for a very serious spot in the extended playoffs. So interesting stuff around the league, or around the North, and the Packers' big win, of course, not just a confidence booster, but also in the win category for us. So, Rookie of the Week.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Rookie of the Week.
Okay.
I think, should I go first?
Sure.
All right. I'm going to give this one to Malik Heath, who had like 4 catches for 64 yards, I want to say, in this one. It was kind of a breakout game for him, a real confidence builder, and this was a game in which you could give just about any of those rookie wide receivers, everybody performed, and everybody had to win that game. But to see Malik Heath come on, he looks like the real deal, and I think they need to continue to get him involved in this offense. It was just great to see. Good work.
Mine is the one that you stole from me last week, which is Tucker Kraft. We kind of boo-hooed last week because he got his first touchdown last week, and then they called it back, which was such a bummer. But this week, he did it. He did it. So good for him. We're happy for him, right?
Well, yes, and you have a team that has so many rookies on it. You falter for a month and a half, and then to see a few of these guys start to get a little confidence, feel like, no, I belong in this league, because you gotta hit that point where you're like, no, I belong, and I think he really has. Now Musgrave is not going to be available. We don't know when he's going to be back. So Tucker Kraft, I think, is going to play. He's going to have a role to play, especially at Lambeau in December down the stretch. So definitely a good choice there. Chef's Kiss. I'll let you go first on this one.
Okay. Mine is Jonathan Owens' fumble recovery for a touchdown. When I watched that, okay, first off, we had, 2 fumbles in a row or something like that. It was bonkers there in the either the second quarter into the first quarter. I had just gotten to my parents' house, and I had to keep myself from cussing in front of my mother because I was so excited. But just I know that they always follow through. You always want to, play each play to the very end, like it was a fumble. But I kind of felt like everybody else on the field didn't think it was a fumble.
No.
And he picked that baby up, and by God, he completed that play for a touchdown. And then it was like, yeah, they had to look at it.
The announcers were saying,
"Oh, no, maybe it." And they were like, "Oh my God, it is a touchdown!" So, yeah, I was screaming in my parents' living room over that one.
Yes, is that the one you texted? What am I watching? Or you're like, "Am I seeing this?" or something like that.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. Is some of these plays in football, they're like, it's like such a veteran move that he did, but it's also something you should know from the time you're in Pop Warner football. You play to the whistle. Everybody knows that. But it's exactly like you say. You get in the heat of the moment. You saw everybody else let up.
Yeah, everybody let up.
And he
just picked the ball up, right? It was like he didn't have to really scoop it. He just kind of walked over, picked it up, and ran with it. And
so I just want to I love that choice because I loved that play. Loved it. I am going to take, for my Chef's Kiss, this was 1st and 15. Jordan Love, I talked about him sometimes letting his feet carry him into trouble. He has to bounce out of the pocket, does a beautiful job. The pocket collapses from the right. He backs out, but then rolls right. Rolls all the way to the right hash, and then throws across his body. No platform. He just flat-footed, just armed through the thing. They talk about the cardinal sin of a quarterback being throwing late across the middle. This was late across the middle, and then some. He threw all the way to the left hash and completed a pass to Malik Heath that I could, in the air, and I know the coaches were saying the same thing. It's like one of those no, yes kind of plays. I loved it. I loved it so much, and we talked about some of the plays that Jordan has made, and it's like, that looks a little Aaron Rodgers-esque. Mm-hmm. This play was Brett Favre-esque to me. This is what Brett Favre would do, and just use his gun to get it there before the defender can. So I don't want to see a whole lot of those plays, I don't think, but seeing this one, absolutely loved.
So he's had some great accuracy in the last couple of games. So I was watching, so after the game, I was curious, so I came up with some fun facts for you. You ready for this, Brady?
Oh, yes.
We're talking quarterbacks. We're talking elite quarterbacks.
Oh, yes.
Okay? So these are stats from what I could gather. I went to everybody's website, looked at their rosters, looked at their stats. Please don't come for me if I got this wrong, but I'm pretty sure that these stats are right and current, okay? So Love on the year currently has 2,599 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions, right? Hurts has 2,697 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions.
So 1 touchdown difference and exactly the same number of interceptions?
Exactly the same number of interceptions, and he's only 100 yards above Love on the season.
That is a fun fact.
Isn't this fun? I have more. Brock Purdy, 2,871 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. Some are saying he could be elite. Mahomes runs away a little bit. 2,917 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. He's still up there with interceptions, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Lawrence, 2,746 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. We're talking elite quarterbacks in the league, you guys. And Love is up there. Somehow we don't have the record to show it for the year, but by God, does he have the stats?
And I put up, and some people gave me crap for it, if you compare Jordan Love to Aaron Rodgers through that period of time, same kind of stuff. It's like he's right there.
Yeah.
So, and we talked to our special guest, and he talked about, you got to see consistency. It's still too early in the process. But dang, it sounds like a kid that had all the talent in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He had a team that believed in him with a good system, and he got to sit behind a great player for a few years. I mean, that's not an advantage that everybody gets, but look at Mahomes. He didn't have to come in and get thrown in the fire. That's the difference. Right. Fields, on the other hand, come in and start right away. It makes it tough. Yeah. Well, thank you for that. That was pretty cool. She's digging in. I like that.
Treat.
That's a little treat. Yeah. That's the little, is that the cranberry sauce on the...
oh, I love cranberry sauce.
Okay, just quickly tell me about Thanksgiving dinner for you.
For me?
Is it very traditional?
It's very traditional. I like to have a little dark meat and white meat.
Okay.
All right, it's a little texture thing for me, a little half and half. And then I have a little stuffing, right, homemade. Mm-hmm. And then I have some mashed potatoes. I like to make, if I can, I like to make a little volcano with a gravy.
Put the little well in there kind of thing?
A little mashed potato volcano. Then I like to have some yams with marshmallows.
Okay, yeah, so they're like the candied yams, like the real...
Candied yams. Then I like to have some green beans. They're okay, but I have to have them because...
So not the casserole?
Not the casserole, just like French green beans or something. Okay. What am I missing? Cranberry sauce. Mm-hmm. I like to have the cranberries in it though.
Okay, so you're not the quivering can?
No.
Because Clayton, we talked to Clayton. He posted on that. He's like, "This is the real deal." It's like where you can see the can ridges in it. No, it was hilarious.
It needs to look like cranberry.
It needs to look like it was a cranberry once.
It might be homemade. I don't know. I didn't ask my mom. Then I like to top it off with a Pillsbury crescent roll. Because you need something to scoop them taters, the rest of them off that plate.
Oh, yeah. That's good stuff. Mm-hmm. Now I'm hungry. I shouldn't ask that question.
I know. Really... My mother makes a fantastic Thanksgiving feast. Ooh, and pie. I forgot pie. Pumpkin, pecan, key lime? We threw some key lime in there. I don't know. It was, a little fun thing. So
a little color punch and a little non-trad.
I guess sometimes we go down to Key West on Thanksgiving break. So
I know a lot of people that want to. Well, thank you. Yeah. Now we're recording this. You guys don't know, but we're recording this right through dinner time.
I know. I'm so hungry too. I wasn't hungry when I got here, but now I'm hungry.
I'm hungry. All right. So let's hurry up and talk about the Packers versus the Lions. Now, this one, it seems like forever ago now.
I know.
But it really was, this was a treat, and this is one that I believe could potentially be, again, we've got the Chiefs coming to town, a watershed moment for Jordan Love and that offense under Matt LaFleur's system. Certainly not perfect, but the Packers didn't just go out and beat the Lions. I mean, this was a beat down of the same proportions that they gave us a few weeks back. What was your favorite? I mean, we know your favorite play, but you look at this game. Neither one of us expected it.
Right.
What was the best Thanksgiving surprise you think out of this one?
Out of this game?
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
I could take that one. I could take that one first. Then. You want me to?
Okay, yeah.
I didn't expect the turnovers. You were talking about it. It was like they came in droves.
Yeah.
And then you had Rashawn Gary with like 3 sacks in this one, 2 forced fumbles. That defense against and we had talked about this the first time we met the Lions. You cannot let Jared Goff get comfortable, stay comfortable. They did not, and he looked bad. And I honestly did not expect that. Now, if we were going to win the game, I would have thought, well, maybe we went off. We had a couple shot plays that went for touchdowns, got a ground game going, ended up, winning 24-21 or something because the defense did enough. But the defense looked really, really good at times.
Jordan Love didn't look like that Jordan Love from
the
from earlier in the season. Jordan Love looked like this Jordan Love. And from the stats that I told you about.
Yeah.
I was very surprised by and excited to see some of the long throws that he made, the completions. Some of them were just so accurate. I mean, it's the best word to describe it, like balls that were so perfectly placed. And I usually watch these games for myself. I was watching it with my dad, and I was like, I'm proud of this guy. Like, because my dad and I talk about football sometimes, and Jordan Love has been a hot topic of conversation this whole season, which is, is he good? And so I was kind of like, wow, today he's good.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and you legitimately, at the beginning of the season, we were talking about, are you sold on him? I think your answer was no, and it's a very legitimate answer. I want to see this guy.
Yeah.
When you've got half a season done, do his stats look like this?
Right.
And that's completely aside from wins. We had a bunch of losses in there. Like you said, the season has not gone the way we'd hoped. It looks like it might be turning a corner. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff you want from a quarterback that is, starting his first season. Things aren't going to be perfect. We've had all the injuries. We had to talk about those all year. We've still got Luke Musgrave with some internal organs sliced up.
Can you imagine what kind of team this would be if we didn't have the injuries?
It would be.
That was a thought that crossed my mind on Thursday when I was watching that game. I was like, wow. If we hadn't been so banged up all season.
And, and the nice thing about, it's not nice to think about the injuries, but I think it does point also to the fact that a young team, next man up, they had the right attitude. They didn't do it perfectly, but they kept trying to get better, and they just beat a really good team. So yeah, we could definitely do with a little bit of health. And now, again, you got 2 of the North teams getting their bye weeks, so they're going to get rested up.
Yeah.
But the Packers, I think, are maybe turning a little bit of a corner.
Can I change my answer? 72 hours we had of rest.
Oh,
that is my answer. I can't even believe I forgot that. But to turn around from a Sunday to a Thursday after the Lions had full week of rest?
Yep.
72 hours, and we went out there and kicked some ass. I mean, come on. And the injury report that we had on Monday was
17, 60, whatever
it was so
ridiculous.
bad.
Yeah.
And to come in with people who, like Malik Heath, who you talked about, guys who hadn't really had a lot of play time. I think Malik Heath had maybe played in 4 or 5 games with maybe only 2 of those games with any kind of stats at all.
And he caught every targeted pass.
Yeah.
And it mattered.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just great to see a team. Go ahead.
Maybe Matt LaFleur isn't full of shit and that they actually are having good practices.
I know. See, now it's been hard to believe Matt LaFleur from time to time.
I know.
When these kind of things happen and he says, these are some of the best practices I've seen. And I think he said some of the best practices that I've seen. Like, he didn't even say that this young team has done since it's been together. Like, almost implying that this is some of the best stuff he's seen in a long time. And I will say to that, it's probably because they're running a system the way he wants it, not like Aaron Rodgers was doing it.
Speaking of breaking news, Aaron Rodgers has been cleared for functional football.
So
He's been medically cleared.
Otherwise known as flag. He's been cleared. I did not catch this, so you got to give me a little moment.
This was today. Everybody was talking about old Shefty was up there on the Twitter talking about it. But it sounds to me like they just opened the window, right? He's got 21 days, and he may not even take them. He probably won't, because knowing that offensive line with the Jets, he would be absolutely suicidal to go out there and try to play. It would just not be a good idea. But, I mean, I think it's a historical thing that...
It is. It is. I mean, he's not playing. I'll believe it when he plays a game, but I'm like you. It's like I said from the beginning, who would want to line up behind that line? That's the problem. Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah, so he's got to be, and, their playoff chances would be the only reason he'd want to come back.
Yeah, but still...
I know. He'd do it if he thought he could carry the team through. I know he would do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he would survive, but I know he would do it. Okay, but functionally,
yeah,
cleared
he's been
for
medically cleared for functional football.
Okay. I'll have to stew on that one for a while, because I don't know what functional football is. Other than
I'm missing a word. It's functional football something. But,
okay.
But ultimately he's been cleared to play.
I mean, the word cleared enough.
He's been cleared to play. He just would be insane to go line up behind that O-line of the Jets.
Go do it. Yeah.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers is holding the Jets hostage? Do you think he held them hostage?
No. I know that's been out there, and I can see people saying yes, just from a practical standpoint. But if you're asking me, and there's some kind of intent in him, which is what I get from people when they say that, I say no.
Okay.
How about you? I see
I
see this.
Well, because you don't see. You see some issues with Cook. You've seen some issues with Adams. You've seen some issues with Dobbs. I mean, Dobbs hasn't been playing at all, so I don't know.
He did give them back their first round draft choice by getting hurt.
But if he had just said his season was over instead of making it sound like he might come back, would they have traded for a better quarterback?
Yeah, that's a good
deadline,
point. Yeah, I do think, two things on that. Just, and this is just my personal. I think Aaron Rodgers would not have said that if he didn't really honestly believe he could. Like, that's where I've been the one that I'll believe it. When I've been the doubting Thomas. Yeah. But I do believe he believes he can pull this off. And I think, and when it happened, I think he thought, this defense can hold down the fort. We can, win our home games. Maybe we're in the mix. Get that about 50% of our games if I can get back. And then getting the good news that he did. That's just, and maybe I'm overly positive on it.
I don't think he did it intentionally either. Yeah. I agree with you, but I do think that it's interesting.
It is interesting. He continues to be an interesting guy.
So interesting.
Can't wait to hang that 12 up in the ring.
Back to Packers.
Back to Packers talk. Well, after a Thanksgiving treat, things don't get any easier, at least in the short term for the Green Bay Packers. We got a Sunday night game. I don't know that we have a read on Jordan Love as a nighttime player just yet. Packers versus Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, I'll get his name right one of these times, coming to Lambeau Field. This is a home game, a night game, and I feel like it's NFC-AFC matchup, so a lot of that kind of makes it feel a little... I got a feeling this one's going to be electric. What do you think? I mean, I think the atmosphere is going to be incredible.
I think you're going to have to tell me about it.
Well, you're going to have end of November at Lambeau Field. We could be looking at, I mean, I'd love to think, I think it's been unseasonably warm, but I think that they got some snow recently. Ooh. I would love to see, this is the perfect time of year, because you get into like the end of December, January, and you get those just frozen tundra games where just everything hurts. Everything. But this game could be one of those, like, snow globe games that at Lambeau Field are just absolute magic. You've got Jordan Love coming on, young. You got Patrick Mahomes, who's done it, been there a bunch of times, and is just really, really good.
Yeah.
The offense seems to be missing something now. Without
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill, they do seem to be missing a little bit. Their defense is fantastic. If the Packers defense continues to come on, can give Patrick Mahomes some problems, and Jordan Love continues to perform, I think this could be one heck of a game. I just think it could be fun in all kinds of ways.
Yes. So the Chiefs have a wide receiver problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. He just makes stuff happen. Travis Kelce could retire at the end of the season because of injuries. I think he's just hurting a lot. This is what I've been hearing. Now, you take him into the frozen tundra, maybe a little arthritis acts up. Maybe his hands are hurting a little bit. I mean, he's been having some trouble with his hands here lately. Tired hands. He's got tired hands. Now,
it's not going to get better for him.
I looked at Taylor Swift's schedule. I know we weren't supposed to talk about it. I know we weren't supposed to say her name, but she's... Don't walk! She does not have any more dates to tour until February. So the likelihood that she will be at this game is pretty high. I know. And we know that when she is in attendance for games, Travis Kelce plays very well. So we can only hope that she flies on up there to Lambeau early, wears him out, and maybe he's going to be tired. Listen, the boy has a discipline problem, all right? He flew to Brazil to see her show, to see her perform during their bye week when he should have been in the training room.
Yeah.
Then the next week, he played and he sucked. He was dropping balls like crazy. I can only hope that she could come to Lambeau, come to Green Bay, and it could be a negative for Travis Kelce and a positive for us.
As her name has been banned from our pod, her body should be banned from Lambeau Field. I don't want... It's such a great football stadium to take away with some singer that nobody... I mean, we've got an Olympic gymnast in the stands. Put the camera on her. None of this. But yeah, as long as Travis Kelce plays bad, I don't care if she's there. But yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know.
We'll see.
It hasn't. So he's been playing really well every time she's there, right?
Yes.
And in his bad games.
Lights out whenever she's there. He doesn't play very well when she's not. Maybe he's just a real simp for her and is just heartbroken when she's not around, so he just doesn't want to compete. I don't know.
No one out there wants to know where my mind goes. All right, so Packers-Chiefs, yeah, I mean, we've already done our predictions on this, talked about that a little bit. I don't have huge expectations for the game other than, like I said, the setting is perfect. You know, the Chiefs are an outdoor team. Mm-hmm. They can handle this. Patrick Mahomes is fantastic. Jordan Love, one of the young potential up-and-comers in the league that's really making a statement for himself. I just want this to be a damn good football game. That's all I care. I don't even care if we lose this game. I just want it to be have the defenses really show up. Both of these quarterbacks play. We know we're still in the injury situation. We're thin at tight end. We're thin at running back. So it's going to definitely be a challenge to win it, but I just want to see this one be a good game.
The Chiefs will put points on the board, but we just have to match those. We just have to respond.
That's what the Packers lately have been showing, is that they can respond. And, you can score in the first quarter, for crying out loud, in the first half of games. Yeah. So hopefully they will do that. We will talk about that next week. We've got another special guest coming up that you're going to love that will remain nameless until then. But hopefully the Packers can get a big one against the Chiefs. Before we go, though, we've got another secret word we have to do because, and you'll get why we chose that one in just a second, but today's secret word is therapy. Therapy. So you keep track of all those secret words. We will compile them at the end of the season. We're going to do a big giveaway on the pod. Give away a watch, some Packer Pro Shop cards, T-shirts, and more. And we do have a logo coming. We've got some T-shirts, some other things in the works for Hot Cheese as well. I do want to go over, before we do close out, it's very interesting to me. And you may have seen this recently, but if you go over the final schedules for, you guys know what the Packers' final schedule is. We've got the Chiefs, and it gets a little bit easier. You got the Week 17 and 18 matchup against NFC North opponents. But for our money, you got the Lions now that we're keeping an eye on and really potentially can kind of run away with the North. They've got their bye week, but then they've got the Saints, they've got the Bears, they've got the Broncos, and they've got the Vikings. They've got the Cowboys in there on the 30th, and they've got the Vikings again. So they play the Vikings 2 times, and the Vikings play them 2 times. It's going to be really interesting because, again, Lions are a team we beat, so a tie doesn't hurt us at that point. It'd be 1-1. Just as soon have them win the North. It's the Vikings we've got our sights set on, and they have to play the Lions twice. Be very interesting to see how that goes for their schedule. Obviously, part of that. Or I'm sorry, it's not the Lions that have their bye week. It's the Vikings and the Bears. So they play the Raiders. They play the Bengals. But again, that's no Joe Burrow Bengals, so that's an opportunity for them. They play the Lions. Packers, obviously, Week 17, and then back to the Lions again for the finale of the season. So not a real easy road to hoe for them. Again, I think the 2 Lions games are going to be the real challenge for them. The Lions are going to want to take the North, and I think they're going to have something to say about that. But the Bears now, depending on what I don't even know what Bears fans' approach to this is now. But
I can give you a little insight on that.
I can, and I think I know. If I was going to say the secret word for their podcast would be tank. But,
No.
Oh, what are they trying?
They're out of tank talk. Not everybody, but some of them are. Sometimes you have to win a little bit to stop being losers.
That's what the Lions did this year.
That's a fact. Sometimes you have to win a few games to stop being losers. And I don't know that they want to tank.
Wow, I'm really surprised.
I don't know that they want to tank.
I think they want to burn the program down, is what I would guess. Because if we didn't play ship captain crew, but I had a ring. This is not the Bears fans' fault.
Right.
Luke Getsy goes out there, and you didn't see the game. He basically decided our strategy from the preseason when we scored touchdowns throwing screen passes, let's do that for an entire game against the Minnesota Vikings. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
It is horrible. Bad coaching, their offense, and Luke Getsy is a guy from the Packers.
Yeah.
He's a guy I would normally want to succeed. But
they have the Panthers pick, and I think that's pretty secure because the Panthers suck. The Patriots also suck. And the Patriots are tanking the right way. So, I don't know. We might see the Bears not even in the bottom 2. We may not even see them in the bottom 2.
Goodness.
I'm calling Panthers, Patriots bottom 2.
Okay, yeah. Well, okay, so the Bears have the Lions. They're going to play the Browns. They're not going to beat the Browns. The Browns defense is too good. Cardinals.
Oh, pause for a second. DTR is in concussion protocol, and we might see Joe Flacco this weekend.
Oh my word! Already, we just talked about it last week. It's so exciting.
Okay, continue.
This is called let's try glass half full when all these quarterbacks are going down. But they got the Cardinals. They play the Falcons, who again I'd rather see the Falcons go ahead and win out because the Packers have a tiebreaker. If the Saints were there, yeah. And then of course Week 18 back to Lambeau Field for let's see, what is January 7th at Lambeau Field?
They could beat the Cardinals.
Oh, yeah, they could beat the Cardinals for sure.
That might be the only game
they could beat the Cardinals, but I wouldn't probably have them, pick them to win in any of the other games. But, yeah. Finale at Lambeau, January 7th. You ever bet, what is the coldest?
We should go.
Oh, heck yeah. Count me in. We were going to try to go to at Soldier Field.
Yeah, and you told me it was too dangerous.
Well, here's what they did to us. They put the game at Soldier Field, which I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
They put that one the first when the weather's nice.
Yeah.
They took the one that I can take you to. We can show you around the place. We can have a good time at January 7th.
You told me I might die at that game. So I might die in Chicago, or I might die in Lambeau in January.
Yes. And while everybody can find us on every podcasting platform out there, I don't know that we're going to find you frozen to a pole. Did you do, if I asked you to lick a pole when it's free? Oh, you know not to do that?
I'm not an idiot.
Okay. What's the coldest you've ever had to stand out for a period of time?
4 degrees, maybe?
4 degrees? That's mildly chilly.
It's chilly.
Mildly chilly.
It can get cold here. It hasn't
it was here?
recently. Yeah, it was
Oh
here.
yeah, 4 is
It
freezing
can.
for here.
Listen, down here in the South, if it's too cold, if it's in the teens, they'll cancel school because they don't want the kids to have to wait at the bus stop for however long. I guess parents are just dropping their kids off at the bus stop for an hour. I don't know.
Don't even get me started. Yeah. I brought my first computer home in minus 50 degrees. So you're all bundled up, and you carry that box from UPS to your car, and your fingers are already numb. It's just, it gets cold. But yeah, I mean, 4 degrees is not, I mean, it'll actually freeze the pipes around here.
Yeah, it will.
It's colder than I thought. I thought you had to be somewhere else, like up in Pittsburgh or something.
I would rather be in the warmth.
Yeah. You're a warm weather girl.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, guys, you can find us on all your podcasting platforms. As I mentioned, we are Hot Cheese. We're going to be sticking around. We will be back next week, another special guest. In the meantime, hopefully, the Packers can pull one off Sunday night against the Chiefs. We'll look forward to seeing you next time on Hot Cheese. Go Pack.
Go Pack.
Packer Nation worldwide.